plaintiff, Emmanuel Buckley, says the defendant is his brother, and while living together, the defendant assaulted him and then failed to pay rent, so he's suing. Defendant Patakia Buckley says while living with Emmanuel, he constantly complained about Patakia's children, and he refuses to pay rent because Emmanuel kicked him out, and the police told him he couldn't return.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, so pretty much, once again, he is my brother. You know what I'm saying? He does have a lot going on. He does have, 2 kids. He has one on the way. He has a fiance he's trying to, do things for as well. And, I feel like I have been really working with my brother for a very long time. And, I just try to be so supportive. And little does he know, whether he knows it or not, Your Honor, I have been very supportive. And how he repays me is, he puts his hands on me. He threatens me. He says mean and nasty and rude, untrue things about me.
Where does that come from? Where do you think this animosity comes from? And give me an example of him putting his hands on you.
Okay, so pretty much, it's a normal morning. I'm in my room. I haven't even woke up yet. He knocks on my door. I say, come in, because, he is my tenant. I cannot ignore him. So I say, come in politely. And, he comes in. He starts talking about, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but if I can remember correctly, he started talking about how he had to move his kids and his fiance out of my apartment for X, Y, and Z reasons, and how I stole some kind of gun from him.
Okay, is that relevant to the case? Is that what this is, the case at hand? Because you spoke as if he put his hands on you regularly. You said he puts his hands on me. That implies that he's done it more than once. So aside from the instance we're here for today, has he put his hands on you? And if so, when and why, how often?
Besides this occasion, the last time I can remember my brother's putting his hands on me, hold on, I gotta think. Just give me a couple seconds. Go back some more.
What year you think?
Perfect, Your Honor. I have it. I swear I have it. It just all came to me. Okay, the last time we were staying in a hotel, we were staying by Atlantic Station. This was approximately, because this is before I got my apartment and before he moved in with my other brother. So this had to be originally probably I say a rough 8 to 9 months ago. Maybe, or almost 10.
Very hard
probably.
to remember that. Mm-hmm.
Oh no. I'm just a little nervous. This is my first time ever doing this, so that's why I'm just kind of having a hard time, probably stuttering a little bit. Mm-hmm. But to be exact, the last time my brother put his hands on me, we were staying in a hotel by Atlantic Station. This was about 9 months ago, because I wasn't even 22 yet. So it happened before I turned 22. So, no, actually it happened a month after I turned 22. My 22nd birthday passed, and then it happened. I try to come in the room, okay, the door's open, and I'm trying to come in the room. My brother pushes me out the room.
Let me hear from you, sir. You want to give me some background on this, and before we get to
all right. So I moved in with Emmanuel. I think it was almost a year ago, maybe 7 months ago. About 2 months went by after paying rent. I got into a situation, and I guess I'm just got to be honest right here. I ran into my first encounter with the law, and I had to go to jail. I was only locked up for about 3 weeks, though. I can't act like a big bad dog. Anyway, the thing that went out was I paying him that money was too much while I was living with while I was paying my family's bills. So I moved my family in with us. Emmanuel, he agreed to it. He was like, okay, I'm gonna let your family stay here. Just keep them under control, pay some extra rent. I say, okay. So I'm paying that extra rent now. As time goes by, Emmanuel, he doesn't like noise, you know what I'm saying? Because he's usually doing his own thing with his friends and stuff. And I understand people who don't have kids don't want to hear the sound of kids. But my kids, they're energetic. They play. They maybe at too late at night. So Emmanuel complained about that. I've been trying to get their noise low. Emmanuel complained so much, it annoyed my baby mother. It annoyed the kids. Because I noticed when I came home, the stuff Emmanuel was complaining about the kids wasn't that big. You know, them just yelling. You know what I'm saying? They need to be quieter, but them just yelling, maybe jump, make some noise. Emmanuel complained about neighbors downstairs, all type of stuff. Guess what? We don't even have neighbors downstairs. So I don't know how these kids is disturbing anybody but you. I apologize, though, to Emmanuel several times. I came to the room and I talked to his company and I gave them stuff. Like, you know how little black boys do when they in the room, they smoke, whatever. I gave them stuff. I
have no idea what you're talking about. Black boys. What do black boys do?
Back to the point.
No, ain't no back to no point. I'm not going to let you say that and not check you because you have no idea what you're talking about. So don't come in here putting black boys down. That's what you and your black boys do.
The last time I can remember my brothers putting his hands on me. Hold on, I gotta think. Just give me a couple seconds.
What year
oh,
you
right,
think?
Perfect, Your Honor. I have it. I swear I have it. I just saw it being something.
Defendant Patakia Butler is being sued by his brother, who claims while living together, Patakia assaulted him and then failed to pay rent.
How does he owe you for the $1,100?
Okay, so precisely, he owes me $1,100 from. He didn't give me any rent for. Because when you pay rent, you basically pay for the.
Just tell me how much rent he was supposed to pay you.
He didn't pay me for staying for August, or he didn't pay me for staying for September.
How much?
$550 apiece.
All right. And when he asked for your money, what has he said?
Well, when I asked for, well, Alex, Your Honor, I have to kind of explain this too, because this kind of goes why.
Go right ahead.
Why he didn't pay rent.
Go right ahead.
But, okay, so the day my breaker broke and I had no circuits in my house at all, it was July the 26th. You know what I'm saying? But the thing
I know zero of what you're saying, but continue.
Okay. I'm sorry, Your Honor. My apologies. Okay, so back to the back. Yeah, so basically, regardless of because the complex said we still had lights from the first
like
to the 26th. So technically, we still stayed for a whole month with a way to live. It was only 4 or 5 days going into the next month. So they said, okay, since you already had 25 days, we're not gonna compensate you anything at all. So I had to, by the grace of God, I had to keep going back to the complex, keep going back to talks. And I'm like, hey, this ain't right. This ain't fair. I had receipts for this. I had receipts for that. You know what I'm saying? Saying what I paid because I couldn't stay in my own home because I have asthma. So I couldn't stand that. To me, that's like a dangerous, deadly hazard. So I couldn't stay in my own home. So with that being said, Your Honor, it didn't matter to me. Well, honestly, it's up to you still because, you are the judge. But I'm going to let you know how I feel about it, honestly. To me, Your Honor, since we still had the 1 through 26, technically he still had a full month to eat, to shower, to come in and out the door with his house key. He had plenty of time to buy food, do anything he needed for those 26 days, which pretty much he stayed for that month. So he never gave me anything for that month.
I would have ran
And the
away.
You
reason
see what
why-
you're doing to us? You see what you're doing to us? You're killing us. You're killing me and him. You're killing us. You see how we're doing with twisting? I'm gonna have dreads in a minute. I'm gonna have locks in a minute. We throwing our arms back. We're going crazy. You're killing us. Did he ever say he was gonna give you your money back?
No, Your Honor. He told me he's not giving me a dime.
Oh,
Exact words.
Sir, tell me about if you owe rent. If not, why?
Okay, bottom line is I left the house, let's see, the 3rd of October. I came back in the house on like the 6th. And when I came back in on the 6th, all my stuff was outside of my room. So I'm like, okay, what the heck? So I go into the front room. I'm like, dang, all this stuff in the front room. This is my stuff that's in the front room.
Sir, is
Why
that
all
true?
my
Did you
stuff in the
move his
front room?
things into another room on October 6th?
I object, Your Honor. Because
Did
that's
you
a lie.
move the things out of the room?
The things were never in the room, Your Honor. They were in the living room already. His stuff was originally in the living room.
Oh, so he-
and I know it was because, Your Honor,
Hold on, no, Your Honor. You wanted to pay $550 a month and leave his stuff in the living room. Okay.
when he still
What do you believe
occupies
you
the
owe,
other room
sir?
with him,
Sir,
his
what do you
kids.
believe you owe?
I believe I don't owe him out anything because he kicked me out and told me I couldn't come in after the 6th, and the police wouldn't let me in after the 6th. And I paid the previous month of rent. I don't owe him out anything because I only was there 3 days. So whatever I owe for 3 days of October, because I paid my previous month rent, or you would have some text messages or something.
So he never gave me anything for that month.
I would have ran
And the
away.
You see what you're doing to us? You see what you're doing to us? You're killing us. You're killing me and him. You see how we're doing with twisting? I'm gonna have dreads in a minute. I'm gonna have locks in a minute.
Defendant Patakia Butler is being sued by his brother, who claims while living together, Patakia assaulted him and then failed to pay rent.
Let's see some evidence, written evidence. Anything? Nobody?
So all I owe you is October for 3 days if you want any
You
money.
paid September, sir?
So that's it.
Sir, you paid September?
I paid September.
Did he pay for September?
No, he did not pay September. You want to know why he didn't pay September?
When's the last time you paid?
This is how he did not pay
How do we still have a
September.
place?
I can't tell who's
Okay, I
telling
can
the
talk.
truth.
I can talk.
I can't tell who's
I'm
telling
quiet.
the
I'm quiet.
You've talked a long time and said nothing. I can't tell who's telling
Man,
the
look,
truth.
I'm just gonna take about
Whenever a
second
judge
real
can't
quick.
tell who's telling the truth, that means you haven't proven. It's on you to prove your case. If you don't prove your case is dismissed. You haven't proven it, so I must dismiss it. Have a good day.
Now, bruh, look, this is what I want to say to you. You gotta grow up, man. You did all this. It's not worth
Hey,
all
that's
this,
your
bro.
problem. You don't know when to let people talk. You
This
have
is-
anger issues. He asked me a question. Let me talk.
It's not worth all this.
Patakia, it has been some times to where.
Oh my God, we're gonna talk forever. All right, that's it.
Plaintiff Marisol Calderon knows the defendant through her mother, but she never liked Marisol because of her former crack addiction. Marisol suing because she claims the defendant totaled her car while she was in jail. Defendant Marissa Mercado says Marisol took advantage of her mother by hustling her and taking money from her to support her drug addiction. Marissa insists the accident was a hit and run and it wasn't her fault.
I'll start with you, ma'am.
Yes, I know the defendant through her mother. Her mother used to live by my house, but we
How
don't
many
get along.
years?
Let me see, it's what, 5 years.
Okay,
5 years, yeah.
go ahead.
But, I guess she don't like me because of my, my past. In the past I was a crackhead and all that, but, managed to kick it.
How long ago did you go into recovery?
I've been clean 2 years.
2?
2.
Okay, well, stay strong out there.
Yeah, of course.
You go to ENA?
No, I
Why?
did a coke turkey.
Have you ever been in recovery before
Yes,
and you relapsed?
yes.
Did you go to ENA then?
for a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Most of the people I've seen succeed have been going to NA after their rehab stint or during it, or if they do it cold turkey, they still go to NA. But
Yeah.
you think it works for you? It didn't before, but let's see if it does now. So go ahead. So you don't think she likes you because of that, you say?
Yeah, I was passing because, you know, she
Did
thinks
you rip her off or something?
There's nothing to rip off.
Crackhead is still rip anything off.
I never had
Take
association
the
with
ear
her.
off. You take the earring off her ear. You take the jacket off her back. Come on, you get nothing to rip off.
Thank God I never had.
Okay.
Yes.
You tell me give me some background
How you
on your
doing?
friendship with your friend, with your good friend. You are.
She wasn't my friend. She was
Yes,
my
she
mother's
is.
friend.
What?
She was my mother's friend.
And your mother's friends are your friends. So get
Right.
going.
So my mother helped her with her mother. So after her mom passed, Miss Marisol started taking advantage of my mother and hustling her, you know?
How?
Living with her, asking for money, you know, all the unnecessary stuff that you're supposed
crack
to do as a
addicts
grown
do?
woman, you know. I have a past myself. I went to prison myself, you know. Did 7 years in the federal joint. Graduated from being a medical assistant and all of the above, so that changed for me.
Good.
I made bad decisions and I didn't go back.
Good.
But as for Miss Calderon,
You think she still smoke?
her friendship is, oh, I'm sure she is.
What make you think?
Because a day before the accident was probably the last time she smoked.
How long ago was the accident?
The accident happened on May 15th of 21.
You were smoking still then?
No, I got arrested on May 14th.
When last time you smoked?
A day before
It's
May
been
14th.
2 years.
She said a day before the accident.
Then maybe she was with me then, if she knows so much.
Think she likes you because of that, you say?
Yeah, I was passing because, you know, she
Did
thinks
you rip her off
better.
or something?
There's nothing to rip off.
Crackhead rip anything off.
I never had
Take
association
the
with
ear
her.
off, you take the earring off her ear, you take the jacket off her back. Come on, you get nothing to rip off.
Thank God I never had.
Plaintiff Marisol Calderon is suing her former friend, who claims Marisol stole money from her mother to support her drug addiction.
You tell me about the accident and what you're suing her for.
Okay, on May 14th, I was pulled over because my plates were expired, okay? So I had a warrant for my arrest. I got arrested. The police was kind enough to let my niece pick up the car and drop it off at their house, at her mother. So I was able to do one call from jail, and I call her mom. Her mom says the truck is parked. I got the keys. The car is safe. That's it. On May 18th, I was able to make another call so she can call my son and my cousin to let them know I was locked up. That's when I find out that she had my truck and she totaled it. Okay, I get out of jail. I go by to find out where's my truck. They gave me the address. I went to see it, which I got pictures, you know, pictures.
What page?
Page 1. And there's also a video.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah, she says she got hit from behind. There's
hit
no on
everywhere.
page 5. There's no evidence being hit from behind.
Good point.
Okay.
There is.
When I tried to talk to her, she got up all cocky, so I left it alone, and I went and I filed a lawsuit. What did she do when she received that certified letter? She left me a voice message on page 12.
Now you wanted to show me something first here?
Yeah, there's a video.
All right, let's see the video.
Wow.
That's the side that got hit on, Your Honor. Because she kept steady keep talking about the passenger side, but it was the driver's side that got hit, which I have evidence of that as well.
And okay, so you tell me what happened.
Okay. May 14th, Miss Marisol was arrested for having a warrant for her arrest for shoplifting at Walmart. But she got pulled over for the expired plates as well. So that was the warrant for her that she had. My daughter had to take her vehicle because the niece only took herself home. She didn't take my daughter home. So the niece took herself home, and then from there, my daughter doesn't have a license or insurance. She had to take it upon herself to get home. So she drove the car to my house, where it was parked and all of the above. Mind you, my child had to be at work as well. So Miss Marisol's responsibility was to pick up my child from work because we put gas in her car for that. But unfortunately, she went to jail.
How is my responsibility? I was doing a favor for her. Her daughter's 20 years old. 20 years old. Out of the
If
kindness
they're
of
giving
my
you
heart,
gas money for the car.
Of course I gotta get gas.
No. They're giving you for a particular reason. So don't sit there and say that. They're giving her for a particular reason.
Now tell me about the accident.
Okay, so I went to pick my daughter up May 15th. It was about 12:15 a.m. So I went to go pick her up. She got out at 11 o'clock. We were on our way back, Lakeshore Drive. Mind you, I was on the slow side because Miss Calderon's car, when you go over 40 miles an hour, it's gonna shake, you know? So I went on the slow side, and we were driving home real good and calm. And then when I looked in the rearview mirror, which I was hit on the driver's side, it was a Charger or somebody else. I don't know who hit me, but he hit me from behind, and as he hit us, I grabbed the wheels, stepped on the brake, and we turned and hit. We were in a tree. Like literally the tree was holding us up. If that tree wasn't there, we would have flipped. And now my daughter was behind me. She was sitting in the driver's side behind me, and so was my neighbor. She came, when she asked about the car, she says that they told her the car was abandoned on 47th, which it was a lie. Nobody abandoned the car. I was in an accident. I went to the hospital with my child. Did she care once? No, all she kept talking about was the car. Like if we didn't even make it through the night or even live through this accident. Report? Yes, sir. I got that police report for you. Yes, sir. Page 2.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
When I asked her for the police report, she didn't give me none. When I even asked her out of kindly when I walked in through, how are you feeling? Okay. Now, no hospital, no nothing for me.
You lying, girl.
I even tried to work out with a payment arrangement.
Another thing, Judge, I have a letter from my mother when she was there to witness that Miss Marisol, I said that I could use the vehicle anytime I needed to use the vehicle, if she was there or not, because I have a driver's license and she don't. So my mother wrote a letter stating that she was there when Miss Marisol said that I could use the vehicle. Just take my mom to the store to do anything I needed to do. And then right here is the traffic report.
What page?
Page 2.
Yeah, but none of this says what you told the police. None of it has a narrative. In other words, police report usually says that the driver says this is what happened and that's what happened. The driver had a child, or the driver said this.
The child's name's on the police report.
All right, nothing made reference to you saying anything. That's my point. You haven't told the police anything that I can read.
Plaintiff Marisol Calderon is suing her former friend, who claims Marisol stole money from her mother to support her drug addiction.
Do you have any evidence of what you told anybody?
I mean, I have police records. I mean, not police records, but I have hospital records that I went to the hospital.
No, about the accident.
No, they didn't tell me anything. All he did was give me a card.
You were supposed to tell them.
How was I supposed to tell them if I was flipped over in a tree coming out of a car? I went straight to the hospital. Mm-hmm. There was no police officer there to even talk to me after the accident.
You could have told them yesterday. Day before that, day you got healed. That's when. Don't get smart. No, I know you can't tell him while you're in the hospital or while you're being taken to the hospital. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Today, perform stereotypes, and they say, whatever else you might have said. It's time to rewind and check out this week's Judge Mathis Throwback.
plaintiff, Renee Johnson Little, says the defendant has children with her nephew, and Renee has helped financially support them. Renee is suing because she bought the defendant's son a cell phone, and the defendant smashed it. Defendant Monique Mann says Renee is controlling and meddlesome, and she thinks she can raise Monique's children better than her. Monique insists she forbid Renee from buying her son a cell phone, but Renee went against her wishes, which infuriated Monique.
Start with you.
I've known Monique a little about 20 years now when her and my nephew were at this trade school in the city of Detroit.
Oh, okay.
And
where?
I cannot remember,
You?
Your Honor.
It was Detroit Job Corps.
Okay. Good. I've spoken
And
over there
so,
before.
I saw that Monique liked my nephew, and I explained to her that was fine, but get your education first.
That's right.
So to make a long story short, they had my great nephew, okay? And over the years, I've bought both of her boys flat screen TVs, tablets for school. I didn't just buy them a couple of items, I bought them fall clothes, spring clothes, summer clothes, school clothes. I didn't have to contribute at all.
Okay.
But I did. But they don't have the TVs. Monique either pawned them or she got rid of them. Tablets, they don't have them. I had to buy the little one a second bike because when Monique moved, she left their bikes in the house. When she went back to get them, the neighbors were riding their bikes. She was able to get the oldest one bike back, but the youngest one, she wasn't. So she said she
From the neighbor?
From the neighbor, she'll tell
But
you.
the neighbor just said, I ain't giving it back.
That's what she said, the lady told her.
What part of Detroit?
West Side, Tracy Street.
Yeah, they do that around there. I grew up within 1 mile zone of that.
But
You know that, huh?
Definitely.
But Your Honor,
ahead.
the oldest boy, both of them are brilliant, okay? But the oldest boy, he just turned 16. Now, what amazed me about this child, he was reading with comprehension at 2 years old, okay? And that's amazing to me. So I was able to get him in Cass Tech.
Good, the best.
He scored at-
Second only to Renaissance.
You hear
Your
what I'm
Honor,
saying?
I object that. No.
What?
You didn't get him in Cass Tech, sweetheart. I did all that. Not
Oh,
you.
when
he
he
got
got-
himself in Cass. Go ahead.
I
Oh,
went
yeah,
and
he
got-
did that. Yes, you're
Your
right.
Honor. I'm a former teacher at Detroit Public Schools. I went
What
down
school?
and got Fleming Elementary, Pulaski, and Cooper Elementary was my first school.
So what are you saying in terms of getting him in Cass because you have to
Right,
take
he
the
got-
test?
Well, what I'm saying is I went and got the application
Okay.
and gave it to her.
Defendant Monique Mann has children with the plaintiff's nephew, and the plaintiff is suing because she bought Monique's son a cell phone, and she claims Monique smashed it.
You give me some background, ma'am.
I met her at the age of 16. She did take me under her wing. She tried to steer me in the direction of definitely continuing my education, don't have a baby. She did. But she's just been controlling, meddlesome. She feels as though she can raise my kids better than me. As you can see from her testimony, I got your son into Cass. No, yes, you're right. My son took the test. Yes, you did get the paperwork, but I'm the mother. I had to do everything else as far as paperwork and going back and forth to finish getting him into the school. So all you
I'm
did was
laughing
get the
because
paperwork.
everybody in Detroit says they're responsible for me being on television or a judge. Don't you remember, I went and got you your application for law school when you were still around the corner in undergrad. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't say that if the young man became a judge, would you? You wouldn't say I'm
No.
responsible for that because I got your application for Cass and handed it to you. But you all have gotten along fine other than this recent?
We have. I mean, we're very blunt and honest with each other, but we've always been able to, whether we had differences, we still come together and we were able to still deal with as far as the kids, because everything that we do is for the kids.
Good.
So,
Good
yeah.
to hear. Let me hear from you on the personal property you're suing for.
Okay, what happened, Your Honor, I used to pay for Michael a cell phone. I got both of them cell phones. And back in March, Michael's little brother smashed his cell phone. So Monday morning, August 6th came, and Mike calls. You know, they become teenagers. They call when they want something. I said, well, what do you want me to do, Mike? You want me to get your phone? Yes, Auntie. Where you at? I'm at the library. So I live east, which is the best side of the city.
What part of the east side? What part of the east?
Near Hamtramck. Okay. By
where all the gang violence is, yeah.
The best side.
Go ahead.
Best side, people. Anyway, I pick him up. The phone costs $100, but I told him I'd charge him $55. I said, are you happy, Mike? He said, yeah. I said, all I want you to do is do good in school. So then about an hour later, his dad called, and he tells me Monique's upset that I bought him the phone and this and that. So the next day I called Mike. No answer. I called my nephew, his dad. Did she let him keep the phone? He said, no, she smashed it. I said, what? So I text her, and the text is right here. I said, Monique, you owe me $100 for that telephone. She says, text back, I don't owe you, and if you do it again, I'll you up. So, I'm handicapped, Your Honor.
You don't act like.
Oh, I went ghetto. I went ghetto.
What'd you do?
I let her know. I
She
said,
carries guns,
I told
too.
her
She
to.
carries gun.
Oh, she has a gun.
I told her to name the time and place that her kids will not have a mother, that I will take these 38 bullets and put in her butt. I told her, you don't threaten me. You threaten your mama, but you don't threaten me. I say, you so bad, name the time and place. And I gave her permission to take it to the police station. I said, you do not threaten me.
You have, you said I came
She
by
got blocked,
text?
Your Honor, so whatever she sent, I don't even have. I blocked her that same day. I don't have time for
Good.
foolishness from old people.
Good.
I do not.
I'm
See
glad
how
you did.
disrespectful she is?
You're
You are.
disrespectful. You didn't listen to me as a mother when I told you not to purchase the phone in the first place.
Okay, so you purchased it and
overstepped
gave
your
it to her
boundaries.
son.
She didn't tell me not to
I
purchase
told
the
you
phone.
not to
But you
purchase
gave it
that
to
phone.
him.
Yeah.
That's the property that is,
No, that's not the lawnmower and the edger.
yeah, I didn't see.
Okay, what happened with the lawnmower and the edger in the springtime? She had the kids call me because she got in a disagreement with me again about Mike. She was complaining about my nephew, saying he wasn't doing much either. And so it made me angry. So I said to her, I said, Monique, Michael's 15 years old. I said, this year he'll be 16. I said, if you go to court, the judge gonna ask Michael where he wanna stay. I said, and my money ain't banked on you. I said, your kid's been talking about you for a long time to different people. Your Honor, I was surprised. This is like 3 years
Saying
ago.
what type of thing?
They said to me one day, they said, Auntie, Mama didn't got rid of all our stuff, but she didn't get rid of her stuff.
What else, ma'am?
That's a lie.
And they talk about,
nothing. You act
they
like-
talk about, wait a minute, Your Honor.
What
They
else?
talk about how she moves all the time, how they don't have a home. Since I've been dealing with her these 4 years, she's moved
You're one
5
of the
times.
reasons.
Okay,
I'm not criticizing. I'm just telling you what they've told different people.
You know,
I've been a kid before
tell you
too.
the same
Your
thing.
Honor,
You know, I've been a
I
kid
think we
before
done moved
too.
5 times.
Your Honor, she's got
But
to
we're
she'll
moving
ask
on
you
up.
questions.
You moved 5 times, she's moving on up. Nothing wrong with moving 5 times.
Defendant Monique Mann has children with the plaintiff's nephew, and the plaintiff is suing because she bought Monique's son a cell phone and she claims Monique smashed it.
Tell me about the lawnmower.
So anyway, when we got in that argument, she brought my telephone. So then in the spring, she had the kids call me. And they said, Auntie, my mom want to know, can we use your lawnmower and edger this summer? She wouldn't give it back.
What did she
So the
say?
grandmother, she
Why?
said she'll give it back when she go to court. But the court said they couldn't get in contact
What
with
court?
her. 36th District.
Where I sat.
Yeah.
You tell me about this, ma'am, the phone and the property.
Okay, so as far as the phone, yes, she called and actually was bugging me about buying this phone for him. The last time she called me, because at first what she said was true. I did say that I was going to let her get a phone. I had put up a few of his dollars because he was spending his money. So I did put money up for him. But then I decided that I wanted to monitor his internet usage. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get him a phone under my plan so that I will be able to monitor what he uses on the internet. So when she called, I told her, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll wait until I get it. Next thing I know, my son calls me. He has a new number. I'm like, where'd you get this number from? Oh, my auntie went and bought me a phone. I was heated. So I called his father, told him what happened, and his father and me, we called her and told her, you have to bring that back the same day. But she tries to have him sneak the phone in on me. So the whole reason was for the phone to be sent back. He comes back in with it. When I saw it, I broke it. After that was said and done, I called his father again. I told him what was going on. As far as the lawnmower and the edger, I never asked her for it. Why? Because anytime you borrow anything from her, oh, this cost $400 10 years ago, so it's still worth $400, and if you break it, you're going to have to pay for it. I never asked her to borrow this edger or lawnmower. She loaned it to us. She said, here, I'm going to bring it. She brought it over there, and I told her no, because I don't want my son responsible for it, because this is what she does. Next thing I know, when we get into it and I blocked her, I'm getting sued for this. She never asked for this back. She never asked for the lawnmower or edger back.
Still?
Yes, it's in my godmother's garage. When we moved, I put it over there. She's an acquaintance to my godmother, and I have a statement from my godmother saying that she herself brought her the trimmer back, and that she let her know that her lawnmower is there, and that she can come get it.
She said she did not request it.
Now, Your Honor,
Did she request it or not?
Yes, she did. Why would I?
That's not what you said at first.
I did.
You
I said
the
my
children
nephews,
asked you.
right.
No, you said now you're saying she requested it, so you just contradicted yourself. Earlier you told me that your nephews asked for it, and you said go ahead and take it. That's what you said.
I did. I said my nephew said.
All right. Well, she's not responsible for having it, ma'am. She didn't. All right. All right.
I don't have a reason to lie about it.
Secondly, ma'am, I asked you if you gave that phone to him because you have no standing to sue because it wasn't yours. It was his because she destroyed his property, not yours. You had given it to him. You had completed that gift. And parents decide what they want to do with their children's property. All right, ma'am, I'm going to hold this judgment in abeyance, ma'am, until she gets her property back.
Yeah,
all right?
This is how my edger came back.
The edger was broke when she sent this, sir. She said she was going to get it fixed.
Have a good day, ladies. You got my ruling. Get her things back that you might have control over. All right, and if not, in 30 days, I'm going to grant her a judgment. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's what happens when you lie in court. I would just like to say I do not want to be bothered with you again. You are a liar. You are messy. You need to just leave us alone. Go about your little lonely life and be good.
I don't really want a relationship with her. I just wish her kids well and that they don't end up like her.
Oh, my kids will be just fine. They'll be doing better than you. Bachelor's degree and no job. Thank you.
I don't need one. I'm retired now.
We recently spoke with plaintiff Renee Johnson Little and defendant Monique Mann, who both said they've spoken to each other once since their case. Renee told us that Monique tried to get her children to stop talking to Renee, but Renee has a good relationship with them. Renee said that Monique's children have to sneak calls to her, and Monique has been falsely accusing Renee of trying to turn Monique's kids against her. Monique told us that Renee still talks to her children and still tries to influence them and manipulate them against Monique. But it doesn't work because Monique's children know better. Monique said she's doing great, working and taking care of her children.